Hi, welcome to Dietitian Review. I am your dietitian Fechi, and today it's another episode of our nutrients series. But we'll be going a little bit off the nutrients, okay? We'll be going a little bit different from the nutrient series, okay? There has been a conversation that has been in the front burner, okay, in recent times. I think it goes out, it comes back, it goes out, and it comes back, okay. And a lot of people have been asking me, what are your thoughts? In fact, recently there was an audio where a woman was discussing this very particular topic, and he was telling people to eat according to their blood type. Okay, I know that a lot of you out there want to know what the truth is. Should we eat according to our blood type? Are there foods that blood group A or O or AB should eat? Are there food they shouldn't eat? What is science? What are those evidence-based studies that have been done on this? What are the outcomes? Okay, as a dietitian, what do you suggest? What are your take on this? I've got a lot of calls, I've got a lot of messages asking me what I think about this particular thing. And that was what made me to go all out to do this particular video. And in the course of this video, I will let you know I brought some of my senior colleagues and some of my colleagues who are also practicing, who know some of these things, who have heard about them, and they've done their own research or review on some studies that have been done around this. Okay, so we'll be talking to them, we'll be hearing what they have to say about blood type diet. Okay, I know you're excited. Okay, so but before we get into that, I'd like you to click on that subscribe button, click on the notification bell so that you'll be able to know when we release our subsequent videos. Okay, so we will be going into it right away. So, what is blood type diet? Now, I'll tell you a short story before we go into that topic, right? Now, while I was in Onitsha, doing a partnership with a diagnostic center, one of the days a man came into the clinic and was asking me if there were foods that were meant for a particular blood group. I was stunned. That was my first time of hearing such. So I quickly told the man, okay, what happened? How did you hear it? Where did you hear it? Who told you? So the man was like, it was not him in particular, but that for the past 5 years, the mother is not eating some foods. Okay, the mother has not been eating some particular foods, because of what one woman told her. The woman said that she is blood group O, and there were particular foods that she was not supposed to be eating. Okay, he mentioned a couple of foods like crayfish, tomato, and all of that. So I told him that probably it has to be a new science, because as at then I have not heard it. It was so new. So I told the man I would like to see the mother, right? So that I will get first-hand information from her as to what transpired that led to her, to stop eating some of those things. So the man said he was going to bring the mother the next day. Now, at this point, I needed to do some research, right? So the woman came the next day with the son, and it was a very serious argument. All right, it was a very tense argument, but at the end of the day, I was able to talk to this woman. Okay, before I tell you what exactly this whole video is all about, I would like you to understand what this blood type diet is all about. Right now, You will be also listening to some of my colleagues who have been experienced in this field, and they know exactly what is going on. Okay, so you will also get to hear some of the summaries in this video. All right, so hold on, chill. You're gonna get all the details. I know that you're burning, your ear is itching. You want to hear exactly what this professional has to say about this, because this has dated for so long. It has been on for so long. It goes off, it comes back again, it trends off, it comes back on, so a lot of persons want to know what the professionals are saying about it, right? So you're welcome on this channel, and I'll be sharing evidence-based studies about this through my colleagues, and also I'll do a summary of that. Okay, now a lot of people have heard about it, but maybe for some of you who don't know about it, blood type diet was a diet that was introduced in 1996 by one naturopathic doctor in the United States, and he wrote a book about it. Okay, that book happened to become a bestseller in the New York Times. Okay, and that book, made the man go viral. His name is Dr. Peter J. D'Adamo, right? And this man went on to, produce a lot of supplements, to help people augment for nutrients which they were not getting in a particular group of food, okay, that he asks people not to eat. So what exactly is the blood type diet? Okay, the blood type diet is that form of diet where people are asked to eat based on their blood group, the blood group system of A, B, O, and AB, right? So people are asked to eat based on this blood group. Okay, that there are no other factors that should affect what they eat except for this blood group. Okay, so they eat a particular group of food. Okay, I'll run it down, quite quickly, so that you'll be able to understand where this is coming from. So the title of the book by Dr. Peter J. D'Adamo is Eat Right for Your Type. Eat Right for Your Type became a New York Times bestseller. Okay, and after that he went on to build businesses around this particular ideology or philosophy of his diet. According to Dr. D'Adamo, he called blood group A people, he saw them, agrigarians. Now, the ideology is that people started eating plant-based foods. Okay, so their system has been modified to get used to it. Okay, so they are not said to eat any food from animal sources, okay, especially the meat, red meat, and what have you. So mostly blood group A people were said to eat foods that are from plants. Okay, blood group B people were seen to be the nomads. Okay, the nomads basically they eat majorly animal foods. Okay, they eat some plant-based foods, but majorly they eat animals, right? And even they also take some dairy products. Okay, but they have some plant foods which they are told to avoid, and these plant foods are foods such as wheat, corn, lentils, tomatoes, and a few other foods like that. So they don't eat all the plant foods. Okay, they eat some plant foods and then majorly animal foods, for even though those of them that are in dairy products. Okay, for blood group AB, okay, they are to eat most of the things in blood group A and B, but they have some other foods which they are to avoid. Some foods like kidney bean, corn, beef, and chicken. You know, so these people in blood group AB, they are told not to eat chicken. All right, they are told not to eat beef. They are told not to eat kidney beans and corn, right, and other foods like that too, right? So this is the third one. Now, the final one, which is blood group O. Blood group O, they are seen as the hunters. These people are basically people that eat animal foods. Okay, it's assumed that when this set of people came on board, it was just the days of the hunters, right? So it was all about the meat. So their system was suitable. Their system were suitable to eating foods from animals, right? Food from animals. But they have some foods that they are asked to avoid, right? They can also eat some fruits and vegetables, but their foods are said to be limited in grains, legumes, dairy products. Okay, so they are limited in some of these foods. This ideology is basically that people should eat some group of foods while others should focus on some group of foods. Now, I know you're asking already, what exactly is this particular ideology all about, right? Is it scientific? Is it something that we should consider as professionals? Now, I'd like you to listen to some of my colleagues, deal with this, all right? We'll be right back to analyze this. Don't forget, subscribe to this channel. If you want to get more of these interesting topics, subscribe to this channel and click that notification bell so that you'll be able to know when we release our subsequent video. Now we'll be right back as we listen to some of my colleagues and what they have to say.
Blood is made up of the red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets in a liquid known as plasma. And blood group is identified by the antibodies and antigens in the blood. Basically, we have four main blood types. We have group A, B, AB, and O. Over the years, we've come to hear some school of thought talk about diet according to blood type, according to blood group. There are school of thought that believe that certain individuals should eat certain types of food. But the truth is there any scientific backing? A lot of researches have been done, and it has shown that these theories that these school of thought have purported doesn't have any scientific evidence to show that if you diet according to a particular food based on your blood, that all these health benefits will be seen. No, it lacks this evidence. So, are there people that believe diet according to blood group? Of course, there are people that believe that certain individuals should adhere to certain types of food based on their blood grouping. The truth is, weight gain and weight loss are as a result of energy balance. It just has to do with the amount of energy you are taking in form of calorie. Does it equal the amount of energy output? If the energy output is higher than the energy input, definitely there will be weight loss. But if the energy input, the one you eat in, is higher than your activity level, of course there will be weight gain. So that is to say, whether you are dieting according to blood group or whether you are having an adequate diet which cut across the different food groups, provided your physical activity does not correspond to the amount of calorie you are taking in, you must gain weight. There's no two ways about it. So that is to say, not just focusing on dieting according to blood group and according to blood type. The most important thing is activity level matters. You cannot just live a sedentary lifestyle and say, okay, because I'm a vegetarian, I expect to lose weight. No. Whether plant-based food or animal-based food, there are calories in all those things, and the more you accumulate and you don't burn out, the more your activity level is reduced, definitely you will gain weight. But if your physical activity level commensurates with your energy intake or is higher, definitely you will lose weight. If we have an adequate nutrition, there won't be any need for supplement except in certain conditions, yes. For instance, where there is iron depletion as a result of accident and hemorrhage and the likes of them, or in terms of pregnancy where there is an added need. Apart from that, there's no need for supplement. But the truth is, since certain people have decided to diet according to their blood group, definitely there are disadvantages. One, there are lots of restriction, and these things are impracticable. Okay, so you see individuals that have been restricted from eating animal-based food. What happens? Certain minerals, certain vitamins, and of course macronutrient protein will be deficient. So those ones will now require multi-mineral supplements. And the truth is, taking supplements without prescription is also dangerous. There are risks of toxicity. So as a dietitian, I cannot advise you to go and get supplement because you are dieting according to blood group. Of course, you need to be assessed, evaluated by a professional, and of course, a physician should also assess you before prescribing a supplement for you. So, whether you are dieting according to blood type or blood group, or you are eating adequately, in some certain situation or condition where supplements are advised, it is safe. But the truth is, don't do self-prescription. A physician, a dietitian must assess you before supplement is being prescribed for you. Personalized medical nutrition does not support dieting according to blood type or blood group. Medical nutrition is focused on taking care of certain conditions. Medical nutrition is focused on taking care of certain deficiencies. Of course, there will be assessment, there will be evaluation to determine the nutrition status of such individual. Okay, for instance, a diabetic individual, through assessment and medical nutrition, of course, it is shown that insulin are not being produced in the required amount, or there is no insulin at all. So certain individuals need to be on carbohydrate controlled diet and all that, avoidance of simple sugar, increase of high dietary fiber and all that. So that's what medical nutrition entails. Medical nutrition is there to ensure that based on the individual's need, based on the recommended dietary allowance of the patient and all that. This is what medical nutrition does. Identify individuals that have deficiencies, identify individuals that is eating in excess, and take care of it. Tailor the menu that will be able to take care of certain conditions of that individual after assessment and evaluation. The question is, certain people have popularized diet according to blood type. Does it really work? In the last few weeks, I've been receiving calls. People have been sending things to me based on audio audio tape that was circulating on social media, supporting blood type diets. Now the question is, does it really work? No, the truth is not. According to so many researches that have been done, evidence have shown that there's no correlation between dieting according to blood and the health status of the individuals that these researches or these studies was carried out upon. In fact, when you compare people that eat adequately, eat from the various food groups, and people that restrict themselves to just dieting according to their blood type, when you compare the biomarker like cholesterol level, like high blood pressure, risk of having type 2 diabetes, and all those things, when you compare, the result is the same. So why restrict yourself, diet according to plan that you cannot even continue, that the level of compliance is very, very low? So why restrict yourself to such diet? It doesn't work. According to researches, there's no evidence to support that, okay, because I diet according to my blood type or my blood group, that I will be more healthier than people that basically feed adequately. So it doesn't work. What are the potential health risks? Are there potential health risks of dieting according to blood type or the blood group? Of course, there are cases of protein malnutrition. Let's say you are restricted from eating animal-based food. You are just basically a vegetarian. There are risks of protein malnutrition. There are risks of hidden hunger. For instance, it could lead to anemia, both pernicious anemia, iron deficiency anemia, and all that. Another thing is, this is something that you cannot even continue. It's impracticable. Of course, it is impracticable. Something you cannot sustain over a long period of time. Why go into it? Okay, now considering the economy, how many people can even afford dieting according to blood type? How many people can afford it? Where you are limited, okay, some blood group, they say you don't eat cereal base, you don't eat legume, you don't eat starch and all that. What else will you now eat? Some, they say you just eat chicken. Some blood group, they say you just eat only chicken, only meat and all that. Now the question is, if you eat protein without eating cereals and carbs, the body will still break down the dense proteinous food into carb, because the body still needs energy and all that. So there are health risks. There could be issue of fatigue, there could be issue of toxicity, there could be issue, because these people that diet according to blood group, I even saw on the net where there are supplements that goes with it. They, these people that market this diet according to blood group, they will even give you the supplement. So there are risk of toxicity, okay, and there are risk of deficiency. By the time you over-restrict yourself, the risk of deficiency in all these micronutrients are very high. Metabolism will be obstructed. Nutrient metabolism, the normal body functioning, will also be obstructed. So it's more advisable to eat adequately, in the sense that your meal is being drawn from the various food groups. So there's no need restricting yourself. There's no need saying, okay, I want to do that according to blood group. All those health benefits, those school of thought have marketed. Say that when you diet according to blood group, there's reduced risk of cancer, reduced risk of cardiovascular disease and all that. I want to assure you that if you diet, if you eat adequately, cutting according to the various food group, everything in moderation, discussing with a dietitian, a professional in nutrition, to tailor a menu for you or a meal for you based on the various food group. I want to assure you that all these health benefits, you will experience it. But over restriction will lead to deficiencies, which can increase the risk of, nutrition related diseases. So, thank you.
There is no scientific evidence that supports the blood type claim. There are so many studies that have debunked this claim. One of such studies is the one published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, where about 1,400 and something participants were used in this study. However, some studies actually alluded to the benefits subscribed to the categories of food in blood type diet, but all of these benefits were not attributed to blood type. So presently, there has not been any scientific proof to support the blood diet claim. Eating or not eating a particular kind of food should not be based on one's blood type. Okay? If there is need for restriction or reduction in any meal that an individual eats, that should be basically because of disease condition of the person. So disease condition can warrant that a particular meal, a particular food should be restricted or reduced. And if this happens, the reduction or restriction is not usually total. This restriction can be a type of modification, okay? It can either modify the person's meal by texture, by composition, by removing or adding a kind of spice into the person's meal. Basing one's diet on blood type is not evidence-based. This can lead to restricting some healthy foods. If this continues, it will lead to serious health issues because you will be experiencing nutritional deficiencies, and this is part of the things that one will not want to happen to any individual. So it's best you eat variety of food rather than restricting your meal based on blood type.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Ezepimpis Chamaka. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist and also a public health graduate student. It will be an honor to take you on what blood type diet is and if it's actually an evidence-based diet and every other thing surrounding it. It's actually been trending and we want to find out what a blood type diet is and if it's actually a diet that people should follow. Alright, before I start answering the questions that I have here, let me just explain what blood and blood type and blood group is. So what is blood? Blood is a fluid of life. It's just connective tissue but in a fluid-like form. So in this blood, you have proteins, you have other molecules that help to support the body. And this blood carries oxygen from the lungs to other parts of the body and then return carbon dioxide from other parts of the body into the lungs. And this helps us to stay alive because when we breathe, the body will go into cellular respiration and then our body will be able to function normally and then we'll be alive to carry out our daily activities. Then what of blood type? Blood type is also the same thing as blood group and we have four major ones: A, B, AB, O. These various blood types that I've mentioned are what actually make our blood unique to us. Is a special, distinct combination of some protein molecules. Dietetically, there is no diet to eat or avoid depending on your blood type. But a doctor, Dr. Peter Diadamo, has actually popularized a blood type diet that seems to have been trending recently. So this blood type diet, he claimed that there are beneficials and non-beneficials. Beneficials are diets that you can eat if you have a particular blood type, while the non-beneficials are the ones to avoid. So for some blood type A, he mentioned some foods to avoid. I think blood type A should eat more of vegetables and fruits and all that. But nutritionally and dietetically speaking, there is no evidence on what to eat or avoid if you have any specific blood type. Blood group diet does not have any significant evidence. A recent peer-reviewed paper that was published on Journal of the Nutrition and Dietetics online database actually says that there is nothing like blood group diet. Okay, this is not just a random site. Randomized controlled trials or clinical trials are good standards in nutrition research, epidemiological research, that actually defines if a research work is actually evident or non-evident. So let me break it down. There are categories. You have case series, you have case studies, you have cross-sectional studies, which most of us actually partake or do that kind of study in our undergraduate and our master's level. But most papers that are randomized controlled trials actually have a method of randomization where people are picked randomly or selected randomly, and then you have a control group and you have a study group. In the control group, you are not going to give them any diet as in this case, but in the other group, that's your study group or your case group, you are going to give them a diet, and then you will not tell if actually the dietary intervention works or not. So it's after you have conducted that study, you'll be able to actually analyze it and then find out if there's any significant difference. So from the research I made, I found out that there is no significant difference on people that took the diet, that's this blood group diet that Dr. J. Adamu has actually been popularizing, and those that did not take. And we found out that from the research that it does not work. The other two research papers that I actually looked at also show that this research work does not have any significant evidence, and it says that it's not true. So whoever that is eating a blood group type diet, just know that you are not diversifying your diet. And when you are not diversifying your diet, you are at risk of deficiency, you are at risk of malnutrition, you are at risk of so many other illness or conditions that should have been averted if you were eating from all your food groups and enjoying your meals. So there is no evidence supporting this. So I advise you to keep eating healthy. If you go through the blood type diet website, you find out that they now linked personalized medical nutrition to this, which is very wrong. In dietetics, personalized medical nutrition therapy is actually tailored medical nutrition therapy. Tailored meaning that here they have looked at your likes and preferences, at your body composition, at your anthropometry measure, the biochemical results that you've given the dietitian. After analyzing and examining all these, including your dietary pattern over a period of time, the dietitian will now be able to plan a meal that is targeted at giving you a modification or adjustment of your dietary regimen in a way that it will be suitable to you. Because while you are undergoing the dietary assessment, the dietitian is going to ask you, what are your food likes and your food dislikes, and so many other questions. So all these supporting questions will help the dietitian to plan, a good meal for you. This healthy meal that you will now commence will be such to meet the goals that the person or the client or the patient has already agreed upon with the dietitian while the intervention process is going on. I've said earlier while I was explaining the personalized medical nutrition with that of a blood type diet, the risk could occur for certain groups that eat only vegetables and just fruits. Yes, plant-based diets are always the best and are healthier. But now, even the animal products provide us with lots of proteins, provide us with lots of iron, and so many other minerals and nutrients. If you deprive yourself from eating what you should have eaten on a daily basis, weekly basis, over a month, because you are trying to follow a particular type of diet, you're already making yourself a victim of a singular diet. And at the end of the day, you're at risk of malnutrition, deficiency, or maybe some other symptoms and signs that may result to further complications. So the risks are there. While going through the research and the papers, I found out that most people that are on this diet, because they keep eating a particular kind of food, they may get bored. And aside being bored, they may start feeling guilty anytime they mistakenly eat what the diet said they should not eat. And at the end of the day, mental problems already setting in place because there could be depression. But the most of it all is whoever that
welcome back. I know you've been able to listen to some of what my colleagues had to say. Okay, so I'll be doing a quick, summary about what they said, so that you'll be able to know exactly what to believe, right? Are there foods that, any blood type person, should either eat or avoid? Now, from what they said, you can now see that currently, based on studies that have been done on this particular subject, okay, there has not been any evidence-based study to prove that blood type diet, okay, is something that needs to be adopted, right? So you need to go tell your yak people, you need to go tell your friends. It is not proven yet as at today, okay? We are open to science. Science is dynamic, yes, but for today, there is no evidence to prove that fact. According to studies, are there, clinical studies that support that blood type diet, is working? Okay, are there, studies that you can lay your hands and say, okay, this particular blood type diet is working? The answer is also a big no from what they said. They said studies did not prove that, right? So there is no significant difference between people that ate a particular group of food from people that ate a particular group of food, okay? So the truth is that both of them will be deficient in one nutrient or the other. It may not be the same nutrient, but any nutrient that is high in this particular food group, if this food group, okay, it's not eating those kinds of nutrients, okay, they might likely be deficient in those food groups. And for the other people, if there are nutrients that are deficient in that food group that they are avoiding, it means that they will be deficient in that kind of food groups. All right, so it's neither here nor there, right? Now, are there potential health risks associated with this? Yes. Like I said, when people focus on some group of foods that they don't eat them, it means that over a period of time, they will be deficient of the nutrients accruable from that food group. Okay, so it means that there might be danger ahead of them if they continue to stay away from that food group. So there might be, danger in eating a blood type diet. It could be you can break down for one deficiency in one nutrient or the other. You can go ahead and look at some of the our videos on our nutrient series that talks about nutrients, okay, the deficiency of nutrients, what they can lead to. You can go to the description, you will find link to all the videos we have done on that particular nutrient series. Our nutrient series also continues. We'll finish all the nutrients, remaining about 4 of them, and we promised you that we are going to finish all of them. But this video is just to address this particular problem, and I promise you we are going to be getting more of these controversial topics to deal with them from dietitian's perspective. All right, it's still our dietitian review. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time. Before you go, I'd like you to subscribe to this channel, share this video, share it with friends, comment. I'd like to hear your thoughts. What have you heard about this blood type diet? What did they tell you? Who told you about it? Was it a doctor? Was it a dietitian? Whoever that told you, would like to hear in the comment section. Okay, thank you for listening, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.